welcome back to the WCBL once again with a team builder. This is going to be week 6, and I am going to go up against JS, coach of the Winter Weaviles. So let us get right into the team. Once again, ordered and what I think is most likely to be brought. First off, we have Mega Blastoise. Once again, going to try and put a hit out onto that Blastoise because Blastoise always, any form of Blastoise seems to mess with me. And yeah. So hopefully the hit will actually go through this time and I will not have to see it. But if it doesn't work, Mega Blastoise. Interesting matchup against my team. It could be run completely bulky to help deal with Stack Attack and Crocodile and the like, as well as help dealing with Chiron Black. It could be like a certain amount of speed might be run on it to outspeed min speed Cresselia. It could be run max speed, max attack, or max speed, max HP to make sure that it outspeeds my Mega Heracross if he is worried about that. Could be run with special defense to help deal with Delphox, Tapu Fini, Cresselia, and yeah, kind of a big threat. Might run Scald, might run Water Pulse instead if he is worried about Tapu Fini's Misty Terrain. Water Pulse would be better in that instance, but Scald would also be nice to get burns if I do not have that, or if it is not up on the field. And basically Blastoise almost always gets Skullbird against me, because that is my record with Blastoise. Most likely we'll see Aurasphere on that to get the most damage out, useful for Chiron Black, Crocodile, Kangaskhan, and yeah, and Stack Attack. Dark Pulse for Cresselia, Gourgeist, and Delphox, and then probably just straight water coverage, maybe. Could run HP Flying for Mega Heracross if he is really that worried about it. And then most likely going to have Rapid Spin on there, even though I usually don't run hazards, but you never know. If it is not Rapid Spin, maybe like Aqua Jet for priority to get that quick kill after walling something. Could have the Toxic to help deal with Cresselia because it will not benefit from Misty Terrain since it is levitating. Could even run Miracle or Roar to prevent setup on my end. And yeah, we'll have to try and figure out during the match if it is bulky, if it is speedy, if it is attack invested to deal with it. Next up we have Infernape. Infernape is really good for my team. Only thing it does not outspeed is that Crobat, but it could easily run Scarf against my team. Scarf wouldn't be all that bad because then it will outspeed Scarf Crocodile and Scarf Chiron Black, which are usually good Scarfers, and can blow them back. U-turn for momentum, close combat hits a lot of things, flare blitz, and then some kind of coverage move, depending on what he is afraid of. Uh, if he is probably maybe gunk shot for Tapu Fini, or maybe even Stone Edge for the Crobat and the Delphox. Could be his play. He could also possibly run it special. Special isn't even actually that bad against my team, but then it won't have the coverage for Tapu Fini and Crobat, but might not actually have to worry about that. And special might actually be good since I do have that Crocodile that could get Intimidate, and Stakataka has a really high defense stat. And yeah, we'll have to watch out for that. If Scarf might not be his choice though, because I do have Trick Room setters, a few decent Trick Room setters on my team, and might think that that could be a burden for him, or that locking himself into one move, even though it can deal with a few mons, will not deal with the other mons. Could be a Life Orb, could be Expert Belt, could easily well be a Sash Mon, since I usually do not like to bring hazards, and even if I did, he could easily get rid of them with like that Mega Blastoise or that Gliscor. Sash could be a problem. Take a hit and get each kill on Scarfers. And yeah. Infernape is looking like a real big threat, seeing as how my ghost type is also grass, which means Fire Stab is doing a lot, so can't really bring Gourgeist reliably against it, unless I can figure out it's like Scarfed or something, or Banded. Banded might be a play, Specs might be a play, you never know. Moving on, next up in this top tier is the Mew. Why Mew is a threat is because of its sheer amount of moves it gets. Could be run, basically any set could be run bulky defensive, could be run def investment to take on my special attackers, could easily be run offensive like a Specs or Bandit or Scarf set, could be run mixed to have coverage for certain mons, could easily run Will-O-Wisp to weaken my physical attackers if he is worried about that. Could be a Calm Mind set, could easily run Culpa Berry if he is worried about Crocodile. And yeah, because of its versatileness, Mew is going to be a kind of a threat, because I will have to try and figure out what kind of set it is during the match, and can't just prep for one possible set it could bring. Next up, we have Gliscor. Why Gliscor is up here, even though I have threats such as Chiron Black and Tapu Fini, which have a field day with it. It is a good physical wall for my Stakataka, for my Crocodile, for my Mega King, for my Mega Heracross. It's probably his best Mega Heracross wall on his team. It could easily try and stall out Cresselia with Toxic. Could be a Roost set, could be a Taunt set, enough speed to outspeed like a min Cresselia and taunt it, crippling it. could easily be a wall breaker with like a sword stat set. Um, Ground isn't actually that bad against me, and then flying as well on top of that could be a problem. Um, could easily be a defogger. Don't know why it'd be defog, because probably not likely to actually defog. Um, because my only hazard removal is defog, and he wouldn't want to get rid of his own hazards if he brings them. Most likely going to have rocks on it as well, to try and weaken down my team. Moving on, we have Alolan Persian. Alolan Persian is nice because it outspeeds my entire team except for Crobat, and it's not like Crobat is doing much to it. Um, so it can get that fast parting shot off to weaken my team and go into something to take the hit or to counter it and blow it back, which is a kind of a problem for this team. Also, Fast Staunter helps deal with Cresselia. Could easily run foul play for my physical attackers as well. Knockoff coverage on it is quite useful to get rid of hindering items on my team that would be useful for his team. And yeah, next up we have Amoonguss. Amoonguss is quite nice with Regenerator, even though a lot of my mods can do a lot of damage to it. It is a great wall for the Electros as well as the Tapu Fini, which could do a lot to his team if he is not careful. And yeah, Regenerator could easily run Spore if he is not too worried about my terrain, and Spore would actually be really useful for the Electros as well as the Cresselia. Well, I think it gets Leech Seed. Hold up. I'm not sure if Amoonguss actually gets Leech Seed. Nope, it actually doesn't get Leech Seed. Never mind. And yeah. If it did get Leech Seed, then it would be super good. But, most likely to be replaced out of these top 6 is probably most likely that Amoonguss, if he is not too worried about other sets of my team. Moving on to the lower tiers, Noivern, even though it does basically outspeed my entire team except for that Crobat. It's not like Crobat's doing much to me, so don't really have to worry about that on his side. Noivern is one of his Z-move users, the other one being Mew. Oh yeah, that's another thing I have to watch out for. Mew, with its coverage and Z-move, it's like, ye don't really know what to expect. Even more with that. And Noivern, if it is brought, it is probably most likely going to be have its Z Crystal. It's not like Life Orb, Expert Belt, or Specs is going to be all that useful. Specs is really detrimental to it, because its best possibility of actually doing work against me is if it can change up its moves. Could easily have Focus Blast for my ons that are weak against fighting, because I do have quite a few of them. Dragon Move is nice, and then probably Hurricane and maybe Roost or U-Turn for momentum. Most likely expecting like Flying set on it if it is brought to help deal with Tapu Fini. Moving on, We have Savali. Savali is all types of Savali, which is kind of a problem with prepping for it, because can't really know what type he is going to bring. Um, some types I can possibly expect him to bring is like electric. Electric wouldn't be all that bad against me. Um, Maybe fighting if he is really worried about Mega Heracross. Um, Even though Gliscor is his best wall, if Mega Heracross does get set up, um, still can easily take that out. And so maybe like fighting Salvali to help take um, the rock and bug and grass and fighting. That would most likely be run on this. Could easily be another Watermon for bulk if he does not want to run a bulky Blastoise. Could easily also run Parting Shot to weaken my team. And yeah, well, it is probably the most likely to move up into the top 6 of these Bottomons because of any type it could be. Next up, we have Metagross. Metagross is not all that worrying. Why it would be brought is to help wall Kyurem Black, because it resists both its stabs. But I feel like his other mons can help easily deal with Kyurem Black, which is why it's lower. Metagross most likely bulky set to be brought, but can also be brought with setup such as Rock Polish. It could be another rocker if he chooses to bring it. And yeah, offensive coverage is quite tricky for me, but kind of falls into the 4-move syndrome. If he has one move for a certain mon, he won't have moves to coverage other ones. So yeah, easier to deal with than say that Savali, with its typing at least in the prepping stage. Next up, Rotom Heat. Why Rotom Heat is actually down low here, even though its offensive coverage is quite nice against my team, is because defensively it is horrible, actually horrible against my team because of mons such as Kyurem Black that can actually hit it for 4 times effective with Earth Power. If Rotom Heat is brought, it would probably be Scarfed, but even if it is Scarfed, it doesn't guarantee it outrun Kyurem Black, which could demolish it, so would have to worry about that. Wouldn't outspeed a Scarf Crocodile, which can demolish it. Possible set on it is maybe Shuka if he is really worried about Kyurem Black. Could be Choice Specs to get off a lot of damage. Could be Leftovers, could be an Assault Vest. Probably not actually Assault Vest because I think it really needs its status moves to actually be helpful in this match, such as Toxic or Thunder Wave or Will-O-Wisp. Could be useful if my terrain is not up. And yeah, Rotom Heat, even though it can do a lot with its offensive coverage, defensively it can easily be blown back. Moving on, we have Aromatisse. Aromatisse, not the best fairy. It's not like fairy is actually even that good against me. Um, might be useful for Mega Heracross. I didn't really check the damage calcs, but I think even Rock Blast does a lot of damage to it, so I wouldn't have to use stab for it. Um, it's not like it's doing much back to Chiron Black. And Chiron Black does get a Flash Cannon and Iron Head, respectively, for special attacking and physical. And will then have to split defenses or risk um, being hit by a certain steel move that is not prepped for. Um, why Aromatisse might actually be brought is for wishes if mixed in with parting shot, that fast parting shot coming off of a lone Persian. Wish could be nice to keep his bulky team healthy and try and stall me out. It's not like I have all that many mons that can like one shot the Mega Blastoise or the Alolan Persian. So yeah, I might bring Aromatisse for wish support, heal bell support maybe, maybe even screens, but it's kind of setup fodder, as well as offensively doesn't really do much to my team. So let us get into my team. First off, bringing Princess Dorothy once again, Tapu Fini, Choice Specs, Misty Surge, Surf, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Trick, 252 HP, 88 Defense, 168 Spadef, Calm Nature. With this set, it is very helpful with dealing with his special attackers, such as that Noivern, which could be a problem with its Z move to catch me off guard, and as well as that Mega Blastoise or Special Ape. Heck, it even helps with Mew. With this investment, it is not being one shot by a Infernape unless it is like banded Gunk Shot. But then I will know it is banded, and I will also have to scout for that. Trick is useful for getting choice specs onto that Gliscor or that Alolan Persian or the Mungus. Heck, even Aromatisse if it is brought to cripple them. As well as he might think I am a offensive set with the specs. It mimics, if I click Moonblast on his Mega Blastoise, it resembles damage to Modest Wise Glass's max special attack Tapu Fini. It resembles Pixie Plate Tapu Fini at max special attack Timid on the Mega Blastoise. So he might think I am a more offensive spread and might fall prey to thinking he can one-shot it with that Scarf Infernape, which is not the case. Surf is really nice to hit things such as Rotom Heat, the Gliscor, and Infernape. Moonblast is nice for Mega Blastoise, Mew, Alolan Persian, Noivern, depending on the Savali, could be nice for that. And Shadow Ball is really useful for the Mew, the Mungus, and the Metagross, which all can take my stab pretty easily. With this investment, Shadow Ball is 2-hit KO and max HP Metagross. Moonblast, I'm pretty sure knocks out Noivern. I'll have to check that real quick. Unless it's like a bulky maneuver. Tapu Fini. Yeah, Moonblast does knock it out. Unless it is like some strange bulky spread. Yeah. Moonblast should 3-hit KO Mega Blastoise if it is just max HP and no Spadef investment, which is really nice. And Mega Blastoise is only 4-hit KO on me, I think, at best. I think that's at best. Can't remember the exact spread or damage calcs on that. I think it's a roll for a 4-hit KO, maybe. I think 4-hit KO at best is if it is like modest max special attack. Then it loses on bulk, and it is easier to kill them or knock out. Moving on, damage wise, Surf will knock out the Gliscor. Will do a hefty amount to Rotom Heat, and Rotom Heat isn't doing all that much back to me unless it's like choice specs itself, and then it would be way easier to deal with. And yeah, Shadow Ball I believe is 2-hit KO on max HP Mew, no special defense. Let me check. Shadow Ball. Nope, it's actually a roll. It's still 3-hit KO on max HP. 3-hit KO. With rocks up, it is a 10% chance to hit KO after leftovers. So if it's not leftovers, since like Culver Berry, Shadow Ball has a 74% chance to hit KO max HP Mew after rocks damage. And yeah, so that is my Tapu Fini set. Will probably most likely be my lead. Helps deal with a Metagross lead, helps deal with Gliscor lead, helps deal with a Alolan Persian lead, helps deal with Infernape lead. And yeah, the only time I probably wouldn't lead with Tapu Fini if I see that Rotom Heat, because he might decide to lead with that. But once again, not really expecting this, so this is like 100% going to be my lead during the match. This week I am bringing Spectra, the Crocodile, Choice Scarf Moxie, Stone Edge, Knockoff, Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, enough speed to outspeed Rotom Heat if it is Scarfed. What? Wait, what is that? Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks 2 weeks in a row? What is this? Who am I? This isn't the CB I know. Just kidding. Stealth Rocks, like I said once again, useful in this matchup. Helps with the Noivern, helps with the Rotom Heat. Forces him to go for a move such as Defog or Rapid Spin, which can help me gain momentum. It's not like I really need another move on this one. Stone Edge helps with the Rotom Heat as well as the Noivern. Helps get damage off on Gliscor. And yeah, Knockoff is helpful for getting rid of items as well as hitting the Mew and the Metagross for super effective, which is nice. And Earthquake does massive damage to anything that is not levitating or flying type or on an air balloon. and is quite an expandable move. Late game, if I can, we can get rid of his flying types as well as get some chip damage on that Blastoise. It also helped me get up rocks late game, and helps deal with a non-scarfed Infernape if he does choose not to bring Scarf Tape, which could be a problem. And yeah, moving on, probably going to go over my Technus Electros, Assault Vest, Levitate, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Knockoff, and Flamethrower. Uh, what this set does is it helps me deal better with that Mega Blastoise because not much can do a lot of damage to it. With this set, it is a 2-hit KO with Volt Switch on max HP Mega Blastoise, as well as takes a lot of hits. HP Ice is there for things such as the Noivern and the Gliscor. Gliscor normally resists standard sets of Electros. Knockoff is there to help get rid of items, and Flamethrower is there for things such as the Amoonguss, which would like to come in on Electros, as well as Metagross, and maybe depending on the Savali type, as well as set. So what Electros is going to do for me is help get slow momentum. Could bring it in on Mega Blastoise. If he switches out, then I will get off the slow Volt Switch into what he switches in to deal with it. And yeah, really helpful for that Mega Blastoise. Moving on, I am going to bring Delphox, Ember McLean, 204, 252, 52, Timid Nature, Shuka, Magician, Delphox, Calm Mind, Psychic, Mystic Fire, Grass Nut. Why it is Shuka, helps take the Earthquake from Gliscor as well as Metagross. Metagross could easily well be an AV set. Wouldn't put it past him. And easily take a hit from Delphox and then try and revenge me with Shuko. Plan here is to get up 2 Calm Minds. After 2 Calm Minds, I can basically one-shot a lot of his mons, as well as it puts me in a position where I can deal with the Mega Blastoise as long as it's not especially defensive, because I can weaken its special attack with Mystic Fire and knock it out with Grass Knot. Magician is nice because after that Shuka Berry props, I can steal the item off of my opponent. He might bring Earthquake on Infernape, which is a possibility, and then I could steal its Scarf, crippling it, as well as boosting my speed to deal with other things, even though that means I will not be able to get up Calm Minds, as well as help get an AV possibly off of Metagross if that is the set he decides to bring. And yeah, Ember McLean is mainly there to chip things down with its coverage of Psychic, Fire, and Grass. Also helpful to weaken his special attackers such as his Mega Blastoise, Mew, and Noivern, as well as it is a really good counter to the Amoonguss if he chooses to bring it. Moving on, bringing in Desiree the Cresselia with Leftovers, Levitate, Psychic, Trick Room, Lunar Dance, and Toxic. This time I am bringing a more def set because physically his best hitting mon for me is that Infernape, and if it is scarfed like I think it is going to be, it is not two-shotting me with Flare Blitz, and it would have to worry about me being physically defensive and KOing it back with Psychic. Enough Spadef to help deal with Dark Pulse coming off of Mega Blastoise, which could be a problem. Helps also deal with Noivern and Rotom Heat. And the Mew. Metagross, even though it is a good physical attacker, will not be doing much to me. So that's basically the story. His physical attackers in Infernape, Alolan, well, technically sometimes Alolan Persian, Metagross, and Silvally will not really be doing much to me. Trick Room is nice, helps with my Techness. Toxic is nice to weaken things down, such as the Mega Blastoise, the Mew, and the Alolan Persian, which can usually do a lot to me. And I can help stall them out, even though I do have that Misty Terrain. I am going to try and play in a way that Cresselia will never have to come in on Misty Terrain. And Lunar Dance is there, so after I set up the Trick Room, I can heal something if I am low. Fully heal something after I get low. And Trick Room helps with that Techness, the Electros, to get off massive damage faster, as well as my Sword of Wincon late game sweeper and Mega Heracross. Skulker is going to have enough attack to basically one-shot anything after Bulk Up, as well as to help take hits from Infernape. +1 defense helps take damage from Flare Blitz from it, as well as a possible flying move from that Gliscor. With its coverage of Rock Blast, Pin Missile, and Bullet Seed, once again, basically one-shotting anything after +1. The only thing I don't think it can one-shot after +1 is probably the Gliscor. Actually, depending on the Gliscor set, it should be able to one-shot it with Rock Blast, which is nice. But that is like non-defensive set, and it's not like Gliscor is doing much back to me. And yeah, so game plan going into the match is lead Fini, get some damage onto that Mega Blastoise or the Amoonguss if that is the intended switching, or Megaros if that's the intended switching. And weaken the walls to the point where I can either win with Heracross under Trick Room or my Crocodile with a Choice Scarf Moxie boost. And in the meanwhile, trying to get Chip with things such as Stealth Fox and getting rid of items with Electros, and kind of stalling things out with Cresselia. Hopefully this week's battle will go well, and it is looking like I am definitely going to make playoffs at this rate. So catch you in the battle, where I take on JS, coach of the Wolfhampton Weavils. That is not his actual logo in the bottom right. He did not have his logo in the logos area of the Discord chat, so I had to make something myself. Just cropped off the Weavils from Bulbapedia and slapped on that text. So catch you in battle, which will probably come out after this video.